You'd be surprised how easy it is to become invisible. Not in the way children dream about, or the way magicians pretend. I mean the kind of invisibility that comes from knowing exactly when to move, how to breathe, and where to stand so that no one ever notices you're there. I've learned that most people are so wrapped up in their own routines, their own little worlds, that they never think to look for someone like me. I don't remember when I first realized I could do this. Maybe it was the first time I slipped through an unlocked window, or the first time I watched someone leave for work and knew their home was mine for the day. It's not about the thrill, it's about the quiet, the peace of being somewhere you don't belong and making it yours, if only for a few hours. I pick my places carefully. I watch for weeks, sometimes months. I learn the rhythms, when the lights go on, when the car leaves, when the garbage is taken out. I know which neighbors are nosy, which ones are blind to everything but their own front lawns. I wait until I'm sure, then I slip inside. At first, I only stayed for a few hours. I'd eat a little food, try on a shirt or two, maybe nap on the couch. I was careful. I left everything as I found it, or close enough. But over time, I realized how much more I could do. People are forgetful. They misplace things, leave doors unlocked, forget if they finish the milk. If something's a little off, they blame themselves. They never think of me. Eventually, I started staying longer. I'd sleep in their beds, feeling the warmth they left behind. I'd shower in their bathrooms, use their towels, scroll through their phones if they left them out. I learned to move quietly, to listen for the sound of a car in the driveway or footsteps on the porch. I always had an escape plan, always knew where to hide. But hiding in plain sight is an art. I started building little spaces for myself, behind the water heater in the basement, in the crawl space above the garage, inside a closet that no one ever opened. I brought in supplies, a flashlight, a bottle of water, a few snacks. I could stay for days if I needed to. Sometimes I did. It's funny, the things you notice when you live like this. The way people talk to themselves when they think they're alone. The arguments they have on the phone. The secrets they keep in drawers and under mattresses. I know more about these people than anyone else ever will. I know what scares them, what comforts them, what they dream about when they think no one is listening. I never take much, a little food, a shirt, a trinket from a shelf, just enough to remind myself that I was there, that I was real. Sometimes I leave things behind, a note, a drawing, a single hair on a pillow. Nothing that would ever make sense to anyone but me. There was one house that felt different from the start. It was small, tidy, the kind of place you'd never look at twice. The owner lived alone, kept to themselves, never had visitors. Perfect. I watched for weeks, learning every detail. I knew when they left for work, when they came home, when they went to bed. I knew the sound of their footsteps, the way they locked the door, the way they checked the windows twice before leaving. The first time I went inside, I felt like I'd always belonged there. I moved through the rooms like a shadow, touching everything, leaving nothing behind. I found a spot in the attic where I could hide, a place no one ever looked. I made it my own. Days turned into weeks. I started staying even when the owner was home, moving only when I was sure they wouldn't hear me. I listened to them breathe at night, watched them through the cracks in the walls. I learned their routines so well I could predict their every move. But people are unpredictable, no matter how much you study them. One night I heard a sound I didn't recognize, a voice, low and cautious, coming from outside. I froze, listening. It was the neighbor, the one who always walked his dog late at night. He was talking on the phone, but his eyes were on the house. On my house. I stayed perfectly still, barely breathing. He lingered for a long time, then finally walked away. But something had changed. I could feel it. The next day, the owner seemed nervous. They checked the locks 3 times, looked out the window every few minutes. I watched from my hiding place, wondering if they sensed me, if they knew I was there. I waited until they left for work, then slipped out to the kitchen. There was a note on the counter, written in shaky handwriting. "Did you see anything strange last night?" I smiled. People always think they're alone, even when they're not, but the neighbor kept watching. I saw him through the blinds, standing on his porch, staring at the house. He started talking to the owner, asking questions, making jokes that weren't really jokes. I could feel the tension building, like a storm about to break. I should have left. I knew that, but I didn't. I was too comfortable, too sure of myself. I thought I was invisible. One night I made a mistake. I was moving from the attic to the bathroom, certain the owner was asleep. I didn't hear the neighbor's footsteps outside, didn't see the flashlight beam through the window. He saw me, just a glimpse, a shadow moving where no shadow should be. He called the police. I heard the sirens before I even had time to run. They found me in the attic, curled up in my hiding place, surrounded by the things I'd taken. They searched the house, found the evidence, my fingerprints, my hair, the little things I'd left behind. They asked me questions, but I didn't answer. There was nothing to say. My life in the shadows was over. They put me in a cell, locked the door, and left me alone for the first time in years. I don't miss the houses, or the people, or the things I took. I don't miss anything. I was invisible once. Now I'm just gone. The cell is small, but I've always preferred small spaces. There's a bed, a toilet, a window with bars. I know the routine here too, the guards' footsteps, the way the light shifts on the floor, the sound of keys turning in the lock. I watch, I listen, I learn. Old habits don't die, even when you're caught. Sometimes I think about the people whose homes I visited. I wonder if they ever really knew I was there, or if they just blamed themselves for the missing food, the misplaced shirt, the strange feeling that something was off. Maybe they'll sleep better now, or maybe they'll never feel safe again. It doesn't matter to me. I was a part of their lives, even if they never saw my face. The police tried to connect me to other disappearances, other empty houses. They asked about the things they found in my hiding places, rings, watches, a faded photograph. I said nothing. They can guess all they want. The truth is, I was everywhere and nowhere. I left no pattern, no reason, nothing they could use to understand me. The trial was quick, the neighbor testified, his voice shaking as he described the night he saw me. The owner of the house sat in the courtroom, eyes wide, hands trembling. I watched them both, but I felt nothing. The judge read the sentence and the guards led me away. The world outside faded, replaced by concrete walls and steel doors. Now I spend my days in silence. I watch the other inmates, the guards, the way the light changes as the hours pass. I know every sound, every shadow. I could tell you when the warden will walk by or when the kitchen will serve lunch. I could tell you which cell is empty, which one hides a secret. But none of it matters. There's nowhere left to go. Sometimes at night I hear footsteps in the hallway. I close my eyes and imagine I'm back in one of those houses, hidden in the walls, listening to the world go by. But the illusion never lasts. The cell is real, the bars are real, and I am not invisible anymore. They say everyone gets caught eventually. Maybe that's true. Maybe I just got careless. Or maybe deep down I wanted someone to see me, just once before I disappeared for good. But I don't think about that for long. I don't think about anything for long. I wait, I watch, I listen. That's all I've ever done. That's all I'll ever do. And now there's nothing left but the waiting.